few days, Americans will step into the polls to decide the fate of our nation. Among them could be 170,000 Kentuckians with felonies who are now eligible to vote for the very first time. LAX 18 Sophia Millar tells us about the challenges organizations are facing in getting these first-time voters registered in the era of COVID-19.
November 3rd, 2020, a date Tana Fogel has been waiting for a long time.
13 years, that's how long it took me to receive my voting rights back.
A felony conviction stripped Fogel of her voting rights, but with the stroke of a pen, Governor Andy Beshear restored those rights through an executive order in December.
They gave so many people a chance.
Now Fogel is registering eligible people with felonies to vote. But things look different than they did in December. Efforts are limited. There are no longer pop-up registration drives or door-to-door canvassing.
So that's what pre-COVID looked like, having events.
Fogel says connecting with people is more challenging than it used to be. Volunteers mainly rely on phone banking, which works sometimes.
So we have a pool of people that does answer, and we have tried to phone folks at different hours of the day. And so some folks have moved.
There's limited data showing how re-enfranchised felons vote. UK professor of election law Joshua Douglas says the data that does exist shows voter turnout in this group is relatively low, but that shouldn't dissuade anyone from making an effort to register them.
We shouldn't ignore this population because they're eligible voters just like everybody else, and they should have a say in who our elected leaders are as well.
A principle which hits home for Fogel.
We made mistakes that took us to prison, but we're not mistakes. We're very smart people who have been left out of the democratic process.
It's why she says she'll keep making phone calls and doing everything in her power to make sure all 170,000 eligible Kentuckians with felonies are registered to vote come the deadline. Sophia Millar, LAX 18 News.
And of course, the deadline for Kentuckians to register to vote, October 5th.